Good evening, Bante and Alkayanamita. Namo Buddhaya and Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Ti-Ratana Vihara Friday Sutta discussion by Bante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Please be informed that Ti-Ratana Vihara is going to conduct a one-day non-stay retreat by Bante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima with the name Mudita Retreat on Saturday, 25th of April 2026 from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Kuala Lumpur time. For further information and registration regarding to the Mudita Retreat, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Facebook account or WhatsApp group. Everyone is welcome to join in and hope to see you all at the retreat. Today is the day 166 of this series of Sutta discussion, and this is the second class of Nibbedhika Pariyāya Sutta with topic Kāma, the sensual pleasure of the penetrative analysis 1. This Sutta discussion series is sponsored by Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman Perdana and Nibbedhika Pariyāya Sutta is the 16th sutta that have been chosen by Bante Chandima for this sutta discussion. In previous classes, Bante has discussed about Manggala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabasawat Sutta, Patakama Sutta, Patama Samajivi Sutta, Alawaka Sutta, Dajaga Sutta, Girimananda Sutta, Chulakama Vibhanga Sutta, Chunda Sutta, Digajanu Sutta, and Satipatthana Sutta, which Bante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman Perdana YouTube channel, and we have uploaded the previous classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore please share around about this class to other friends and family members, so that whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom where we can engage directly with Bante can contact the Vihara administrator. Or you can join the class from Ti-Ratana Vihara Facebook channel where we broadcast the Sutta class live on every Friday evening from 8:30 p.m. till 10 p.m. Kuala Lumpur time. Now let me introduce to you about our speaker, Bante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima, who was a professor of Buddhist philosophy in the Department of Philosophy at Ateneo de Manila University, Philippines. His recent peer-reviewed articles, Socrates and the Early Buddhist Medical Ethics, Foundation of Moral Reasoning in the Care of the Body and Mind, 2025, was published in Buddhi, a journal of ideas and culture of Ateneo de Manila University. Bante also presented his latest research at the annual meeting of American Academy of Religion, or AAR, in Boston, USA, in a paper titled Custodian Without Ordination, the Ganinase Tradition and Monastic Succession in 17th Century Sri Lanka. Bante is also the senior advisor of Patisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dhamma talk, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma work can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, and we also can follow Bante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana, for the introduction. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back to Friday GRB Sutta discussion. So let us take a look at our text after the information. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today is day 166 of Friday Sutta discussion, and we are moving on to the first formal class of the Nibbedhika Pariyāya Sutta. So, may I ask you a question at the beginning? You're supposed to ask questions from me later. So, what do you understand by Nibbedhika? Nibbedhika. Nibbedha means seeing through, right? So, Nibbedhika means something that is up for the penetration or maybe seeing through thing. That means with regard to a lot of Dhamma things, we normally pick them up in our tiny little understanding with a couple of the suttas. But this sutta teaches us that 6 most important Dhamma matters should be penetrated, or maybe should be understood with a penetrative analysis. You cannot understand them in a very much one sutta or 2 sutta or maybe 3 sutta or 4 sutta, right? Now think about that you want to buy something, right? You want to buy a little bit of expensive thing, right? And then think about you want to buy a car, a brand new car. Would you like to go for a test drive, or you just go and say, this is my dream car, I want to buy it, and I want to bring that home? How would that go? Now people have to test drive, see how it works, engine, the feeling, vibration, facilities, and then the feeling of driving, feeling of being in the car. Maybe your relatives, loved ones might be in the car too, just to hop in the car, see how it works, right? That means we need some kind of experiential, empirical knowledge about that particular object. So that's why when you learn, or when you are supposed to learn Kāma, sensual pleasure, Vedana, feeling, or any other, concepts which are discussed by the Buddha in this sutta. If you look at them as Kāma, sensual pleasure, Vedana, feeling, Sanya, perception, Asava, influxes, or I would say permutations, or discharges, influxes, Kamma, volitional action, Dukkha, dissatisfaction. So these 6 Dhamma matters cannot be understood from a surface level knowledge. They have to be penetrated. I mean, we cannot penetrate them, but rather we have to understand the penetrative way to understand them. So this is what we've been discussing in general with regard to the whole sutta. So today we are going to look at the first Dhamma concept, okay, with regard to Nibbedhika Pariyāya, with regard to penetrative analysis. What is it? Kāma. How to pronounce it? Kāma, not Kamma. Okay, Kamma is another one. It is also in the list, but which will be picking up later, a couple more days. This is Kāma, K-long-A-M-A, Kāma. So Kāma, why did the Buddha want us to understand Kāma in the first place? That's a good question, right? Can anybody have any educated guesses about it? Why did the Buddha not ask us to think about dukkha first? Why did the Buddha not ask us to think about kamma first? Asava first? Maybe Vedana first? Why did he ask us to understand Kāma first? Any reason? Any thoughts? No idea, right? No, there is an idea. The idea is Kāma is the starting point of dukkha, right? The starting point of the dukkha is Kāma. and the ending point of the karma is dukkha. Then now when you learn about dukkha, everyday Four Noble Truths, maybe any other Dhamma teaching, I think you have been learning, you have been hearing this Pali with dukkha a lot, but you couldn't understand dukkha. Why is it? Because you didn't understand karma in the first place. So now, if you go to Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Saccayavibhanga Sutta, Mahacattārisaka Sutta, Satipatthana Sutta, and many other suttas, where the ultimate truth, I would say, the Four Noble Truths teaching, which is the Summum Bonum, which is the highest teaching of Buddhism, was given. Although we study them, here and there, but we were not able to, if we were not able to understand dukkha in a much more expansive, broader way, it is because we didn't understand the sequential process, how dukkha starts from karma. That's why this is very important in our Dhamma understanding. That means we have to first understand karma, K-long-A-M-A. So karma or any other Dhamma teaching here, be that karma or Vedana, Sanya, Asava, Kamma, Dukkha, all of these teachings should be understood in 6 contexts. Okay. Now, with regard to today's karma, the Buddha talks about that we need to know what is karma, and then we need to know what is the cause of karma, karma nidana, and then third, after that, we need to know the diversity, the varieties of karma, and then we need to know the result of karma. Then we need to know the cessation of karma. Then we need to know what is the way to cease or end the karma. Very interesting. Right? So rather than picking up from dukkha itself, which is not very easy for normal people to understand, it is very important to understand karma first and then to slowly understand the rest of the Dhamma matters, which will end with dukkha. So now, let us get into the sutta here a bit. And then we will, perhaps we will ask someone to read a little bit, so we will understand more with the text. Okay. Initially I chose Sutta Central text, but I found out this is easier for all of you. This side Pali, this side English. It's pretty easy English and then translation, but you can refer to other translations too if you like. And I also have given a translation in the okay. I think we have to cover a lot today. Perhaps I'm going to read. Maybe you can join with me. It's better, right? To save time today. Come. Right? Let us read together. Kāma bhikkhave veditappa. Kāmanang nidāna sambhavo veditappa. Kāmanang vemattata veditappa. Kāmanang vipako veditappa. Kāma nirodho veditappa. Kāma nirodha gamini patipada veditappa. Itiko panetam guttam. Kinchetam paticca uttam. Now we can see here Kāma bhikkhave veditappa. This is the first one, right? Kāmanang nidāna sambhavo veditappa. Kāmanang vemattata veditappa. Third thing. Kāmanang vipako veditappa. Kāma nirodho veditappa. The fifth one. And Kāma nirodha gamini patipada veditappa. Okay. Now you understand that with regard to any of the Dhamma matters which Buddha talks about here, need 6 contexts to understand, to fully understand them. Okay. So the first thing is the Buddha teaches us what is karma. This whole thing is about what is Kāma. Can we read this part too? Panchime bhikkhave Kāma guna chakku viññeya rupa ittha kanta manapa pirupa kāmupasanhita rajaniya sota viññeya saddha ittha kanta manapa pirupa kāmupasanhita rajaniya ghana viññeya gandha ittha kanta manapa pirupa kāmupasanhita rajaniya jivha viññeya rasa ittha kanta manapa pirupa kāmupasanhita rajaniya kaya viññeya pottabba ittha kanta manapa pirupa kāmupasanhita rajaniya apichako bhikkhave nete kāma kāma guna namete ariyassa vinaye uchanti. And then this stanza highlights the whole thing. Sankapparagu purisassa kāmo nete kāma yani chitrani loke sankapparagu purisassa kāmo tittanti chitrani tateva loke atitta dhira vinayanti chandanti. Very interesting. First of all, I want to ask you a question here. How many karmas did the Buddha give here? How many karmas are there?
6.
Not 6.
Here
That is,
are 5, Bante.
there are only 5.
5, yes.
Now we have to
Right.
find out why it became 5. Why it was not 6. Right? Here Buddha talks about Kāma guna. Guna means, what is guna? Cord. A string or a cord. That means this is talking about object-oriented karmas. That means the first 5 karmas are object-oriented, tangible objects. Sight is an object. I can see somebody. I can see the beauty. Second, sound is an object. Somebody can hear it. Third, smell. It is an object. You could go by a bad, stinky garbage truck or a garbage, or maybe a very beautifully sprayed place with the perfume. It's an object. Food, I would say the taste is an object. And then the touch is an object. Then, last one, thoughts. Thought is not an object exact. It's a mental thing. Okay. So that means Buddha talks about Vattu Kāma. Vattu Kāma means object-based sensuality here. That means in order for us to understand Kāma, basically we need to understand objects. That these karmas are basically coming from objects. Without objects, there are no karmas. Okay, that's why the Dhamma karma is not here. But Dhamma karma is also happening in us. That means, Dhamma karma means, now let's say I like someone. I like a beautiful thing. I like hearing a certain song. I like a certain smell. I like certain food. I like a certain touch. Then what happened? Every time when I cannot see, when I cannot hear, when I cannot smell, when I cannot taste, when I cannot touch, but if I have already experienced them in the past, what would happen to me? I would fanatize them. I would imagine them. I would project them in my mind. That is secondary. Right? That is subject. What do you call? Subjective karma. The earlier fifth one, the first five are objective karmas. The last one is subjective karma. Now think about someone had a very sumptuous meal today, right? It helped that person to think about a certain meal that that particular person had few years back. Now, more than the what you call the sumptuous taste that person had during that lunchtime today, now that person has more Dhamma Karma about that particular experience, right? So normally people have lot of Dhamma Karma, subjective karma over objective karma. But the thing is that lot of subjective karmas, mental-based karmas, imagination, fantasies, projections, different infatuations, over expectations. They normally come from a certain experience. Perhaps the person could not enjoy to the fullest extent, but the person had a very what you call very brief experience about it. Right? Now think about, you are just putting up in a normal hotel for all your holidays, and you are thinking about there's a more luxury hotel coming up in the city, right? And what you are comparing, what could be the experience if someone is to stay in that hotel for a day with my experience. Sometimes some of the karmas were not experienced properly, but that person had a little bit of experience of that karma. Therefore, that person is projecting, imagining about any possible karma. So that means in the Nibbedhika Pariyāya Sutta, what the Buddha is asking us to understand the objective karmas. Because the more we understand the objective karmas, or I would say object-based karmas, they are called as Kāma guna. There is no Kāma guna in the Dhamma karma. Why? Dhamma karma is not a Kāma guna. It is a karma, but it is not a Kāma guna. So that's why the Buddha says we need to understand Kāma guna. Kāma guna means how someone can be what you call binded, or I would say how someone can be chained with regard to karma. So normally people are chained with objective karmas in their experience. So that's why Dhamma karma is not mentioned in this karma explanation. The Buddha does not underestimate karma. Buddha teaches us the real nature of the karma. Let's see. Panchime bhikkhave Kāma guna. Kāma guna, as you can see here. Chakku vinyeya rupa. This is also something interesting to talk about. Sota vinyeya, Gana vinyeya, Jivha vinyeya, Kaya vinyeya. May I know how we are experiencing karma in our basic raw sensory experience? Now, let's take one sensory experience. Sight. How do you think you experience a sight? First, what will happen to you?
Pleasant, Bhante, if pleasant, then we will.
No. We don't have to go to that level yet. I'm asking, what is the raw sensory experience? Nothing to blame, nothing to appreciate here. Just see what is happening to us. Let's take sight. How are you going to be exposed to this experience?
Like, dislike.
Because of why you can be, exposed to this experience? Because of eyes.
Yeah.
So eyes are there. Then what should happen to the eyes? What should happen to the eyes?
Have to have
Condition
object.
C.
No,
See.
rupa should come to the eyes.
eye consciousness arise when the object,
Not
when
yet,
seeing
not yet.
object.
Eye consciousness not yet come. That's right. Now we have eyes, right? Now
Yes.
I'm
See
asking what
lights.
is happening is
See
like
the
The
one by
light,
one.
lights.
No, don't need to think about an example about the thing. I'm asking now we are talking a very raw sensory experience. Here we are talking eye experience. Now we have eyes. Then what should happen to the eyes? Sight
Contact.
should come to the eyes. Sight.
Mm.
Rupa should come to the eyes. Right? Now, can you see the highway that is next to your house? I mean, if you have a highway nearby, you can't see it, right? You can't see those cars are moving now. But you can see what is in front of you now, this Zoom interface, maybe something in the house, right? But ears can work. Ears can capture that sound sometimes, right? Now, basically, there are eyes. We all have eyes. Then Rupa should come to the eyes. How can this experience at this point be stronger or weaker? Now, I said, as we see in this sutta and all the other suttas, Rupa, eyes are there within us. Rupa should come to the eyes. In order for me to have a full experience with regard to the Rupa, what should I have with regard to this experience?
Attention.
consciousness,
Contact,
consciousness.
Whether I like or
Consciousness.
dislike.
No,
Contact.
consciousness. Yeah.
Eye
Yes.
consciousness.
Contact.
According to the
Contact.
Madhupindika Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, I think 18, right? In the Madhupindika Sutta, Buddha teaches that through Venerable Mahakachayana, that number one requirement for me to experience any raw sensory experience with regard to any sensory faculty, be that eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind, I must have an unbroken eye. Chakkuncha aparibhinnam hoti. If my eyes are broken, if I have a cataract, if I cannot see the things, if I have a problem with regard to different color combinations, right, then I cannot interact with that rupa, right? Number one is chakkuncha aparibhinna. That's what the sutta says. And then
The lights must be there.
Huh?
Lights.
no, bahiracha rupacha apatang agaccha. External sights, rupa should come to my eyes, not come to the other places. It should come to me.
No,
Right.
after that, is it the lights that must be lighted if it's dark, if you cannot see? Is that what?
No, lights are one spectrum of this. Rupas come to my eyes. You know, those are tiny specifications. So that means I should be able to have the rupas directly to my eyes, or I should look at them. The rupa should come to me. Third thing is tajjoja samannahara. I should have attention with regard to the rupas. So these three are compulsory for all the other sensory faculties. That means if you take sound, the ears, then your ears must be unbroken. Second, sound should come to your ears. Then you must have an attention towards that. Nose should be unbroken. Then smell should come to your nose. Sometimes smell doesn't come to the nose, right? Because you are sick. You have phlegm in your, you cannot, you have fever, flu. You say, I don't smell today, So it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So then your nose is not unbroken, it's broken. So then smell should come to the nose. And then you should be able to give an attention with regard to the smell. Tongue should be unbroken. Taste should come to the tongue. And you should be able to give attention to the taste. So in this way, the Buddha talks about how compulsory for for any sentient being, but particularly humans, to go through the sensory experience. Going back now, we were talking about the chakku, eyes. Then rupa should come to the eyes. Once rupa's impinge, once rupa's sights impinge, touch my eyes, what would happen in that very second, millisecond, nanosecond?
Eye consciousness.
Eye consciousness arises. What is eye consciousness? A certain awareness that is not always kusala, right? That eye consciousness is not is a ethically neutral one, depending on how we go through it. And that eye consciousness arises, we call it chakku viññāna. So now the problem is not the objects of these senses, because these objects are ethically neutral, right? Now think about arahants also see beautiful things, right? Unenlightened putujjanas also see the beautiful things. So I don't think there is a problem with regard to Dhamma. There's no problem with regard to objects. So you don't have to run away from the objects. Do some people run away from the objects? Oh, I see a very beautiful thing. I have to run away. I don't have to look at it. I hear a very beautiful sound. I have to, maybe cover my ears. Or somebody has sprayed a very aromatic perfume and I have to. Otherwise, I will be attracted to the smell. I will ask, hey, what perfume you spray and where can I buy? Duty free. When I go to the duty free, I will be missing out on that. Right? So it is not that running away from the senses, objects. Objects are common to arahants as well. And the viññāna part is also common to arahants and putujjanas. But what is not common to them, each other, is that how they process the passa content. That is the entry place where arahants feel safe and we don't feel safe. According to Dhamma. So that is how we are going to understand this karma. Okay, but we have to pick up one by one, right? But I just wanted to share with you that point. Please understand, Buddha never underestimated the karma. Why? Karma is a very lofty experience. You can't say, I'm going to get rid of karma. Because even the Sotapanna has karma. Sakadagami also has karma. But the difference between us and Sotapanna Sakadagami is different, right? Their karmas are pretty manageable. But our karmas are at times not manageable. Because karmas take us over, not that we take them over. Right? So I think Buddha in this sutta clearly teaches us that never underestimate karma. If you underestimate karma, karma will take you over. You need to know the gravity, the true nature of karma. The Buddha teaches that true nature of karma has to be understood as itta, kanta, manapa, piyarupa, kamupasanghita, rajaniya. There are 6. You think that they are really easy stuff to easily be discarded? No. Let's understand one by one. At this point, I'm going to show you the note. So I think perhaps you will be able to understand easily. Okay. Let's see here. We will take one of them. So let's take Viññāyapa. Itta means desirable. They are desirable. Kanta, love. Manapa, pleasing. Piyarupa, attractive. Kāma Upasanhita, connected with sensual desire, pleasure. Rajaniya means enticing. Enticing means enticing. Kāmas are pushing us. Kāmas are motivating us to engage in that particular experience. So that means the nature of Kāma is very lofty, very strong than how we think about it. That's why even the good people sometimes get trapped with the Kāma. Okay? Even the people who are practicing Dhamma sometimes can be tempted. And we have so many stories in the Jataka stories, Dhammapada. Okay? There are so many stories. So that's why we have to monitor our Kāmas on a daily basis. How are we going to respond to the Kāmas? Just because you attended the Sutta class, went for a retreat, you are not always safe. Okay? They are learning experiences only. That means you have to have a daily mechanism to understand your Kāmas. Because Kāmas are operating in different people differently. Right? It is very, very unique actually. Just like your character. Sometimes Kāmas are, now you are saying when you have a sickness and you are trying to know why am I getting sick? I don't have a problem with regard to my diet, sleep, I'm taking care of myself. Then they are saying, this is genetic. So what can I do now? This is coming from your generations. Then now I tell you, some of the Kāmas are sansaric. You are not the culprit in this life. They are sansaric. Because in last life, you have been motivated by a lot of Kāma. So what to do? Now Kāmas are coming after you. So it's not very, so then somebody who had a good practice in last life, so the Kāmas are pretty minimal, basic, but somebody who was taken over by Kāmas since many lives, even in this life, that person is going through that pressure from the Kāmas. That is why the Buddha asks us to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. At least you can break that free, right? At least in this life. Right? So, Kāmas should not be underestimated. So, the Buddha teaches all these Kāmas, Chakku Vinyaya, and then how the Kāmas are going to create, and then Sota Vinyaya, sound base, Gana Vinyaya, smell base, Yuha Vinyaya, taste base, or tongue base, Kaya Vinyaya, touch base. So, Apichako Bhikkave Nete Kāma Kāmaguna Namete Ariyassa Vine Uchant. But monks, these are not called sensual pleasures in the noble one's discipline. They are called merely the strands of sensual pleasure. Kami, Kama Guna. They are not called Kama. They are called Kama Guna in the Ariyassa Vinaya. Right? It's like in one of the places, Buddha is talking about music. In one of the places where the Buddha teaches that singing is like a crying. Runna midang bhikkave ariyassa vinaya gita. Now you might be thinking, why are people singing? Why are there so many Dhamma songs? Right? But at the same time, Buddha appreciated Sakapanya, Sakapanya Sutta, about the beautiful singing and the song done by Panchasika, Sakka's, messenger from the heaven. Right? So in the same way, Buddha says, these five are not Kāmas, but they are Kāma Guna. May I know what is Kāma Guna now? We discussed already. Kāma Guna. Anybody? What is guna?
Strength.
Guna means
Strength,
Fine.
strength,
strength, so core.
the
How to
thought,
understand Kāma guna simply?
Sense object.
Kāma guna means object-based karmas.
Check this.
They are not subjective karmas. Object, that means without an object, these 5 karmas are not arising in anyone. That means, what do you call? Those Chakku Vinyaya Rupa, Sota Vinyaya Saddha, then Gana Vinyaya Gandha, Jivha Vinyaya Rasa, then Kaya Vinyaya Pottappa. These 5 are objects-based karmas. That is why the Buddha said they are not karmas. They are karma guna. Why? Let's take a look at the note that I made for you, and it will explain to us. They are called karma because they are desirable initially. Kamai tabbaten kama. And guna because they bind. Bandhanattena guna. Just as in expressions such as antaguna, a binding cord. What is antaguna? This is a part of Satipatthana Sutta's particular manasikara, right? Antang antaguna. That means small intestine and large intestine. We discussed them under the particular manasikara. But I mean, don't take it that way. But what we need to understand is the binding. These 5 are binding. Chakku vinyaya means objects to be seen by eye consciousness. Itta, same way. So this way, what we need to understand is that the name Kāma guna only applies to 5 object-based karmas. Okay. All right. Now we are moving on to the second. What is exactly karma in Buddhism? Sankappa ragu purisassa kamo. Buddha clearly explains what is karma. A person's karma is conceptual lust. Nete kama yani chitrani loke. Not the beautiful things found in the world. Loke chitrani, beautiful. Let us unpack that part. Normally, when it comes to sensual pleasures, we always think that sensual pleasures are objects. Isn't it? They are objects. People, things, sounds, different aroma, stuff, smell, different food, right? Taste that we gain through that. And then the touch. In today's world, are people more conscious about the touch? Their comfort? They are, right? Depending on whatever you do, wherever you go, you can choose, you can opt out a very convenient, comfortable option, right? If you want to travel on an airplane, you can go for a comfortable sitting experience, right? It can be economy class, it can be premium economy class, it can be this and that, extra leg room, right? Nowadays, you can even have a neighbor free seats too, right? You can buy. If you don't like to go with other people, you can buy a neighbor free seat. There are no people next to you. Why is this? Why all situations in today's world becoming so comfortable? People are looking for the comfort. I was talking on the one thing. Think about our buying experience nowadays. Right? Are people going to shopping places that much compared to many years ago? Right? They are buying from online places. Right? Food, other commodities. Right? Why things have been so comfortable? Technology has become revolutionized, advanced. Everything has been becoming so comfortable. Even the Dhamma talk experience, Dhamma learning experience. 15, 20 years ago, you go and listen to a Dhamma talk, you never know what the Bhante is talking about, right? What sutta is that? Where to find that sutta? The Bhante is in that book. How to find that book? I don't know. Nowadays, by now, when we are talking the Dhamma, we are saying this sutta, you can go to a certain website, link. You can search through the sutta. Don't you think that your learning experience with regard to Dhamma has also been more comfortable compared to 10, 20 years ago? Therefore, we have to take extra caution. Why? When things become so comfortable, we might be incessantly stick to that experience, right? So, the Buddha teaches here that not these objects, not these external objects that we see, that we very beautifully want to access into, are not karmas, but karmas are sankappa ragu. Sankappa means conceptualize ragu, lust. May I know from you what is conceptualization with regard to the lust? How to conceptualize? Is there a connection? Is there a connection of conceptualization towards lust? Normally, when people say, "I have a fantasy," I have this kind of a feeling which I want to eat today, right? But they never think that that comes from a sort of conceptualization. Now, Buddha clearly says here, there's nothing called karma. Don't attach karma to the other outside stuff, external objects. Karmas are conceptualized lust. So what is a conceptualization? May I know from you? Good question, right? Conceptualization, concepts, right? Now we have our own interpretations, details, concepts, right? Our philosophies with regard to happiness, sensuality, all these are called conceptualizations. So we conceptualize lust. When we personally conceptualize lust, raga, then what will happen is that karmas are being created. So the thing that I wanted to say is that don't try to think that karmas are external objects. Karmas are not with regard to somebody that you like. The very thing with regard to your karma lies in your conceptualization. Now think about when someone leaves you one day, especially in a very dearly cordial relationship. So how do you understand that leaving, that departure, right? You will understand that phenomenon by thinking, by processing it as a understanding about your own conceptualization, right? So it is creating conceptualization as raga, and it is what you call deconstructing our conceptualization as nekkhamma. So Kāma, nekkhamma, the opposite side. So what we need to understand is that there are no beautiful things in this universe but our conceptualizations with regard to the lust. That is what the Buddha called as Kāma. Sankappa ragu purisassa kāmo. This has been repeated once again. Tittanti chitrani tateva loke. The beautiful things remain just as they are in the world. Atetta dhira vinayanti chana. Dhira means another Pali word for wise people, right? Dhira. But the wise, chandang vinayanti. Chandang means another word for the karma here. Chand. This Pali word. Chand. In our sutta discussions, we discussed that chanda is an ethically neutral word. There's no particular ethical aspect when you use chanda without knowing whether it is kusala or akusala. Now think about when I want to practice Dhamma, I should have a certain willingness to do so, right?
Yeah.
It is also Chanda. It's a Kusala Chanda. And what if someone wants to practice Adhamma, to do something harm to other people, to do gossiping, to do wrong things? It is also a Chanda. It's called Akusala Chanda, right? So that means when it comes to understanding the true nature of the Kāmas, wise people clearly understand that Kāmas are nothing but the conceptualized lust. It's a conceptualized lust. So they understand that the beautiful things remain as they are, but they are not Kāmas. Don't blame them. They are very innocent. So the Kāmas they're our own conceptualized lust. That means if we can lower our conceptualizations, that means we can manage our Kāma experience. All right. So let's keep going here. I want to explain a little bit. This verse makes it explicit. Sankaparaga, conceptualized lust, is Kāma. The universe does not enslave us, our untrained intentions do. They are not Kāma. These things themselves are not called Kāma in the sense of being desirable. Sankaparago means lust that arises through mental intention or conceptualization. Kāma here refers to that sensual desire or pleasure which must be abandoned by those practicing for the abandoning of craving. In this sense, Kāma properly refers to desirability itself. Chitrani means objects that are varied and multicolored, that is, diverse and attractive sense objects. All right. Now we already discussed about what is Kāma and what is Kāma Guna. Okay. Kāma Gunas are those Kāmas that are taken as object-based Kāmas. This first part. And then the second, we understood what is Kāma in the basic sense, how the Buddha explained that. Now we are going into the origin of the Kāma. Why are we into Kāmas? Katamocha bhikkave kāmāna nidāna sambhava passo. Bhikkave kāmāna nidāna. Sense contact is the starting point. Sense-based object consciousness, passa. Without wise attention, contact easily becomes craving. Passa means contact that arises together with consciousness. So there is a kind of a confusion here. What is the confusion here? Now you might think all the passas are Kāma supporters. Passa is a very raw sensory stage. Now we go through the passa. Passa means contact. Do arahants go through contact?
Yes, but they restrain.
They go through the contact. So why did the Buddha ask? Passa has to be ended. Contact has to be ended. Contact has to be ceased. Then what kind of contact does the Buddha refer to? Cessation here in the next section. If passa is the reason, what kind of problem with regard to the passa that we are talking? Contact in the basic sense is not a problem because we all go through contact, just like we discussed that arahants also go through the contact. But the problem is, how are we going through the contact? Are we letting us create conditions for the craving through that contact or not? Let's say I go through a beautiful sight. I know it is a beautiful sight, but when I go through the stage of passa, if I let myself create conditions from that passa experience towards craving, that condition should be ceased. That kind of condition should be ceased. But if I can create a condition to understand my own passa, that condition must be cultivated. It has to be cultivated. That is how Because I created that condition, I could understand my phassa, contact, better, wisely. Now, the problem here is that when the Buddha says phassa is the problem, don't think all the phassas are problematic. No. What Buddha means here is that you need to know the inability to understand how to process the phassa is the problem. So Buddha said, phassa is the problem. You can see here again. What monks is the origin of sensual pleasures? Contact is the origin of sensual pleasure. Now, when you see contact, it doesn't say that all kinds of contact should be ended. No. What the Buddha is saying is that this is the place where the problem arises. And so you better be careful how to process that contact, that phassa. Now we are moving on, how it works. Diversity. Now here, origin, this is why we are having Kāma. Kāmanam vemattata. The Buddha also says, when you know the cause of Kāma, that is phassa, then you also have to know how Kāma can be very much different from each other. That means Kāmas are very different from one Kāma to another Kāma. Do you believe so? Do you agree with this statement? Do you think that each Kāma is different from another Kāma? How to understand that part? May I know? Now you have a Rupa Kāma. You like watching movies, right? You like watching nature. You like watching, what else? You like watching?
Documentary.
Huh?
Documentary.
Documentary, right? Can you try to think about your karma? Sometimes you have karmas, but you don't know that you have karmas, right? It's better to specify them, right? So then, can you think that each of these karmas, what do you call, rupa, saddha, are they very different when you
Yes.
go through the experience?
Different sense door.
Yes. Yes, if you ask from people, tell me what you like in your life, they might say that the things that they want to see, people that they want to see. And when it comes to sound, they might say, this is what I want to hear. Maybe a song, maybe something else, right? And if you keep the conversation going with that person, the person will also say, this is the aroma that I wanted to smell. And this is the food I want to eat. And this is the touch that I want to have. That means we all can feel, we all can understand our different karma experiences at different times. Therefore, Buddha teaches us, don't take karma as one experience. Karma is bringing us a variety of karmas.
Diversity.
Karma is a fusion sometimes. It's a fusion. Karma has a lot of varieties. What will happen when you have a lot of varieties? You go into a restaurant, lots of food. What would you do? May I know? Maybe it's a buffet, yeah? It's a buffet. So what would you do? Now you are skipping your breakfast because you are going to the buffet around like 10:30, 11 o'clock. You want to hit the boat now. Like you want to go for a brunch now. Maybe you go a little later, maybe 12 o'clock. Maybe you think that, right? I'm going to practice the arahants, eating once a day, right? Is that? Do arahants go for a buffet like that once a day and eating everything like that around 12 o'clock?
No.
That's not the, you should not insult the arahants, right? The person wants to look for a couple of options and then now a lot of food. It's a flat price. For a certain price, they can eat a lot of things. So when that person sees, actually it's a very interesting experience, right? I think it has all these karmas differently. That buffet experience, because the person can see the different food and person can hear other people are talking about the food. Hey, that dessert, that soup, this appetizer, that starter, entree, why don't you try? You hear all these things, what people are talking in the buffet. Sound. And third, smell, of course. Smell is everywhere. And then you see some people are already eating. You are going to see, oh, they are eating. And then what else? What are the other experience? Sight, sound, smell, taste, and then touch.
Touch.
When you have that object with your hand, maybe with your whatever cutlery, oh, it's very crispy, it's this and that, like the touch. See, this is so good, right? I think it's that buffet, even that buffet experience has all these karmas. But I'm trying to say that each of these experiences are differently enjoyed by the person. So you can take any other example. So that's why the Buddha says, when you go through the karma, you need to understand that there are different karmas that we may get into. What is the benefit of knowing that I can get into different karmas? Now think about that buffet experience with regard to that experience even. What is the importance of knowing that in the karma experience itself, I can switch between different karmas? Then I will be mindful about my karma experience because I know earlier my karma was seeing the food. Now I already saw the food. I heard about some of the food by others even before going to the buffet. Now this is the time I'm eating. So I know that my karmas are switching between in my experience. That helps me to be more mindful about how to process this whole experience. That's the very reason Buddha asks us to know the diversity, know the varieties of karma. What are the varieties? Same 5 varieties. Let's go and see. Anyo bhikkave. Anyo means it's a different experience. Rupa is a sight is a different experience. It's not similar. Anyo. Sound experience is a different experience. Anyo kamo gandha. The smell experience is a different karma experience. Anyo, different. Anyo kamo rasesu. The taste experience is a different experience. Anyo kamo pottabbesu. The touch, the comfort is a very different experience. Ayam uccati bhikkave kamana ve mattata. Diversity. So we have to know not even the karmas, but also karmas diversity. Right? And then we are moving on to the fourth part. Now we discuss about, we need to know the karmas, and we learn about karmas versus karma guna. Then we learn about karma nidana, the cause of the karma, that is pasa. Now we discuss about karma vematata, the diversity of the karmas. Now we are moving on to the karma vipaka. It's very interesting. What will happen when I go through karmas in different ways? In this slide, in the next slide. Katamocha bhikkave kamana vipaku. Yanko bhikkave kame mano tajjang attabhava. Tajjang, corresponding. Such. Abhinibbateti punya bhagyan apunya bhagyan. This is a very interesting part in this karma penetration. When one delights in sensual pleasure, one gives rise to corresponding forms of existence. Corresponding, wholesome, unwholesome. That means you cannot demonize karma because some people engage in karma in a meritorious way. May I know how to enjoy karma in a meritorious way? Normally, before that question, when you discuss karma with someone, oh, karma is a very bad thing, evil thing, right? People might demonize very fast because they don't know Nibbedhika Pariyāya Sutta's penetrative analysis. But Buddha said, don't do that. Some karmas, the way how people engage karmas, could lead them to be meritoriously reborn or meritorious. Also, karmas are taking them to our usual perception, demeritorious, that means akusala things. May I know a meritorious karma? Sensual pleasure that someone is engaging in, but it will create meritorious things in the future, this life and in the past life. Someone giving dana to be reborn in a heaven. Is it a karma?
Yes.
What kind of karma is that?
Chaga.
Huh?
Generosity.
I think chaga is not in that, because that person is giving the karma, expecting, wishing comfort, right? Even sometimes when you offer dana, Sangha members are asking, you are offering dana, make a wish. You are very happy, yeah. The thing that in your bucket list pops up now, you know. Yeah. Next life, may I be reborn in a better place with the loved ones. Those of them who truly love me in my life. Right? So, there are karmas, such as doing even kusala things with expectations, right? So that could be a part of meritorious karmas. That means we cannot, Buddha doesn't say that is bad, right? He doesn't say it is a bad thing. It is akusala, but it is not the best way to do it, right? Now think about, there is someone who comes to the vihara who is very poor, could buy something to offer Sangha members, and that person is offering something. And you think that person can wish for the Nibbana? I don't think. That person is not even going through a happy life here. What could be the immediate expectation of that person? May I be reborn in a better human rebirth. That's a very innocent wish, right? So it could be a meritorious karma, just like how the Buddha teaches here. See?
It is Kāma.
Kāmaya mano tajjang attabhava. One gives rise to corresponding forms of punyabhagya or apunyabhagya, meritorious or demeritorious. Ayam uchati bhikkhave kāmana vipako. Now we need to understand, how do karmas result in? They are resulting in the way how they were done. You can see here. Kāma mano means desiring sensual pleasures, one who is actively craving karma. Tajjang means corresponding in kind of the same nature. That born. Particular, let's say someone is doing something here, that person is going to be reborn in that place. When one longs for divine sensual pleasures or deva world, perfect wholesome conduct, the mood of existence, bhava, reborn in the deva world, is called punya bhagya. Actually, if you look at Peta Vattu, Vimana Vattu, especially Vimana Vattu, there are a lot of people who have done good karmas by wishing certain things, and sometimes by not wishing certain things. But for the most part, they were wishes. So they were reborn in the heavens. So Buddha said, Kāma can be used as a good experience to be reborn in a better place. But the problem is, even you are reborn in a better place, if you don't get access to Dhamma, you will have to start again, right? So how do we know we can start again without the support of Sangha or maybe books, Dhamma things, right? That could be a problem. But still for them, it is a better place, right? Compared to what they are going through now. So I just want to tell you that Buddha asks us to understand, how do karmas result in? So karmas result in a meritorious way or akusala way, or maybe demeritorious way. So this is what we call as the fourth one, karmas vipaka. Now we are going to Kāma nirodha. Now when we say Kāma nirodha, I think you know what should be ceased now. What should be ceased? Now what are we supposed to cease with regard to Kāma? The Buddha said, you have to cease Kāma. You have to stop karmas. So then what to do? we have to cease passa, contact. Now the problem is, what kind of passa should be ceased? Not the passa should be ceased. Okay? It is because passa cannot be ceased, right? Why? Passa is an automatic thing. It's a natural thing. Then what kind of passa should be ceased? We will discuss. I think I already shared with you. That is the condition, the passa conditions that are leading to craving should be ceased. We will discuss them here. Katamocha bhikkave kāma nirodho, passa nirodho bhikkave kāma nirodho. And what marks is the cessation of sensual pleasures, the cessation of contact, passa. Passa nirodha means the cessation of contact as a condition for craving. But passa contact as a raw sensory experience is natural, unavoidable. There is no need to worry about it unless we allow that contact to become a condition for craving. Now you understand what kind of passa should be ceased. It is the passa that will create a condition for the craving that we have to do away with, that we have to diminish. Now think about, now I am seeing a beautiful thing now. Vase of flowers, bouquet of flowers. Then sight, chakku viññāna arises in me. Then passa now arises. The Buddha said, chakkuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku viññāna. And then tinnang sangati passu. Eyes, the flower vase, bouquet of flowers, eye consciousness about it. And now these three things create passa. Now when I go through the contact, now I feel something over here. At that point, do I let this experience, this contact, to make a condition for craving that I want to keep seeing that? Or I just want to see it as a normal vase of flowers, or maybe a bouquet of flowers. I should be okay. But what if I'm going to create a condition for craving with regard to that particular flower? Then I will be in trouble. I will be in trouble sometimes unwillingly. I also don't know, but because I didn't process that passa in the proper way. That's why the Buddha says cessation of the passa doesn't mean that you have to be, you have to stop all the passa. You can't do that. Passa is, contact is natural, unavoidable. What you're going to see is that the conditions that you create from passa for the craving. Okay. Now when you see passa nirodha, you can see here, passa nirodha, that means cessation of contact passa as a condition for craving. But passa as a raw sensory experience is natural and unavoidable. There's no need to worry about it unless we allow that contact to become a condition for craving. But what if, now let's say I don't make a condition of that flower experience to the craving, but still I have to make a condition out of it, right? Still I have to make a different condition. Then I have to make a condition of that experience, that passa experience, as a condition for understanding what it is, or how is it, through the yatha bhuta jnana darsana. I need wise attention. So I see this is just a vase of flowers. This is just a bouquet of flowers. That's it. No special likes, no special dislikes about it. So I let passa, my own passa experience at that point, create a condition for wise attention. That's the way. Otherwise, I will create a condition for craving. So the problem is not with the passa. The problem is with what I create from the passa as a condition. All right, that is passa nirodha. Passa nirodha means Kāma nirodha. I'm safe from my Kāma experience. I know how to process my Kāma. Then Buddha is trying to teach us how to do it. We call it the path leading to the cessation of sensual pleasure. Kāma nirodha gāmini patipada. This is none other than Noble Eightfold Path. Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Kammanta, Ajivaya, Satsam. Now, may I know something? Now, what we are supposed to do with regard to ceasing of karma, ending of, karma is to stop the passa. I mean, make the passa creating unnecessary conditions for, or maybe making passa creating conditions for craving. So how to do it? How to do it? Through
Restraint.
following the Noble Eightfold Path. Not that you are going through a certain calm experience. Now you go through the passa and you are so much struggling with that passa. No. You might not be able to do it in that moment. The more you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, the more inspiration, the more abilities you are mastery you are creating to do the ending of that particular passa. So you are getting that discipline, that mastery over the course of time that you are practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. Let's start this way. I practice Sammaditthi. I have right view. So the more right view I have, the more wrong conditions that I go through passa can be avoided. As a matter of right view, then right intention, right speech, right action, right living, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. The more I practice them individually and finally as a simultaneous practice, what I'm going to do is that I master myself with regard to not creating my passa a condition for craving. What will happen to me is that the more I practice the Noble Eightfold Path, I will create a mastery over letting my passa experience making conditions for understanding what those karma experiences are. That is how this passa will be ended in that experience. Right? And finally, Yatochako Bhikkhave Arya Savako Evam Kame Pajanati, and all the things, right? So you can see Kame Pajanati. Then here you understand. Let's go to the sutta again here. Where is it? Okay. Kāma Veditappa, Kāma Nidana, that means cause of Kāma, Kāmana Vematata, diversity of Kāma, Kāmana Vipaka, results of Kāma, Kāma Nirodha, cessation of Kāma, and Kāma Nirodhagamini Patipada, the path which leads to the cessation of Kāma. There are 6 things that you need to be looked at with regard to the Kāma experience. So now this is where we are now. You will go back here one more time. Arya Savaka. When a noble disciple understands sensual pleasures in this way, then he or she understands this penetrative holy life, Nibbedhika Brahmacharya. That means in order for us to live a holy life, a pure life, we must have penetrated Kāma in the first place. If you have not been able to penetrate Kāma with regard to these 6 contexts, you won't be able to lead that holy life. And I want to highlight Arya Savaka. Arya Savaka. This is a very interesting Pali word Buddha uses. Normally we have Upasaka, right? Upasaka. May I know who is a Upasaka in Buddhism? Upasaka.
Male
Upasaka.
lay devotee.
Huh?
Male lay devotee.
Yes, that is the literal translation. I'm asking who is a Upasaka? How to become Upasaka?
Disciple of the Buddha.
Now all the Upasakas here would be a little bit shocked. Huh? I became Upasaka, but I don't know how I became Upasaka.
One who have listens
are
to
the
the Dhamma. One who have listens to the Dhamma.
That is not the definition.
One who
Yeah,
holds
explain.
precepts.
No, Upasaka means the one who has gone to the Buddha, gone to the Dhamma, gone to the Sangha for refuge. That's the Upasaka. So then what kind of Upasaka are you? I mean, you must have got that experience. First, Ti-Ratana. Ti-Ratana. Even the Vihara's name of this session is Ti-Ratana Vihara, right? That means the one who has gone for the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha for refuge is Upasaka. Male version Upasaka, female version is Upasika. Then who is Arya Savaka? Now I'm trying to connect that. This sutta and many other suttas talk about Buddha wants Upasaka, Upasika to be Arya Savaka, noble disciple. Don't be a Upasaka all the time. Upasaka is a very basic interpretation. We always respect Buddha Dhamma Sangha. We have no problem with regard. You be a Arya Savaka. Arya Savaka is not always a monk or a nun. Even a layperson can become Arya Savaka. Right? Arya Savaka is the one who is following the Noble Eightfold Path. Right? That's the definition. So we all are part of it. Now I want to highlight here, when you know these six: origin of karma, diversity of karma, result of karma, cessation of karma. I think we missed one. What is karma? Cessation of karma and the path. 6. Then we understand the penetrative or analytical, synthetical holy life that leads to the ending of sensual pleasure. Okay, so this is the thing. I think I have no time to discuss the rest of the points, but these are very easy to understand. All right, so any questions you got? It's the time to ask. So we will have maybe a few minutes to have some questions. Please raise your virtual hand and I'll take questions.
Bante, we have one question in chat. Bante.
Okay, let me see. A second. Which one is more dangerous, object karma or dhamma karma? I think all are dangerous, but they have a different level of danger. I think what we need to understand is that what we need to have with regard to karma is not to create an unnecessary fear about it. I would tell you, karma is a necessary evil. You know this word, right? It's a necessary evil. We cannot live without karma. So just try to have the mastery over managing karmas. Okay? So rather than looking at the danger, I mean, definitely if you don't manage them, they are dangerous, right? It's just like our food, right? If you don't manage your sugar, don't manage your oil, don't manage your salt, then they will become the evil, right? I think what I can say is that karma is a necessary evil. You can't do without karma. But every time you go through the karma, try to think about these 6 aspects. So then at least you are in the safer zone with regard to managing your karma. So you are safe, right? Because you can't run away from karma. If you run away, karmas will chase you. Right? Would you like karma to chase you? No, you will need to manage them because they are natural part of us. So I would say, I don't want to say that one is more dangerous over the other one. I would say karmas are necessary evils, so we need to understand them, manage them through these six contexts, so we are safe to the moment, to that point. But I would tell you, as you asked Dhamma Karma, Dhamma Karma includes fanatization, fantasies, imaginations. So we have to be careful about that too, right? Sometimes we create a lot of follow-up karmas to the object karmas, karma guna, right? So we have to be careful. But I would briefly tell you that rather than creating a certain fear about karma, try to handle your karmas. Then that would be better for you to, manage them. Sensual desire exists in the mind, not in the objects themselves. While we mentally crave for sensual pleasure, but not pleasure, yes, that's what we were discussing. That's not how the Buddha explained about karma. So there are no sensual, there are no beautiful things in the universe. The Buddha says that all the beauties are conceptualized. Very interesting, right? Normally we think that there are beautiful things out there. No? Buddha said, no, there are no beautiful things. Don't blame them. They are very innocent stuff. Right? Perhaps until you ask the second question, I want to show you this photo. Sometimes we can see the insects. It could be a red ant. They would like to, sort of take the nectar or any liquid. But the animal the insect doesn't understand that I have to quit drinking it, consuming it, and then go somewhere. And then it will be the end of the insect too. I think this is what is happening to many. They enjoying the karma is not a problem. Problem is, do you know your ethical boundaries, your parameters? Do you know these 6 aspects of karma? Then you can manage karma rather than either running away or overindulging in the karma. Those are the 2 problems. Sometimes when you don't enjoy karma at all, can also be a problem. It can also be a problem. Right? Let's say you are not liking people, you are not liking beautiful things, right? And you are not enjoying your life, right? Perhaps one day you will come up with a lot of thoughts about, I didn't enjoy my life. Think what people think. I did not enjoy my 20s, 30s, 40s. I'm a bit older now. What can I do now? Right? You have to enjoy your life in the proper way with ethical parameters. But do not overindulge. So find that moderation. That moderation will come with this Nibbedhika Pariyāya Sutta's Kāma analysis. All right, what are the other questions that we got?
Wear long pants on you. On you.
Jenny? Yes, Jenny.
Pull your
Please.
room down.
Yes, Jenny, please.
You.
Yes, please unmute and please unmute. Yeah.
Sorry, Bante. In the notes, Bante put there, passo means contact that arises together with consciousness.
Yes.
That
Sahajata
means,
passa.
so consciousness must be present in order for a contact to happen. Do you mean that?
No, that means this is about not the consciousness. This is about the sensory consciousness. This is not talking about the consciousness itself. This now the kind of the consciousness that arises at that point is sensory consciousness. I would say, let's say now I have eyes, and then the rupas come to me, the sight. In that very moment, eye consciousness arises. At the same time, there is a passa, also co-arisen. Rather than sensory faculty, object, consciousness, and they make up the passa. So passa is co-arisen with the consciousness, because it is said that this is a very interesting point. I would tell you, normally we understand passa is a physical contact. Here it says it's a mental contact, because my eyes have a mental contact with regard to the seeing of that particular thing. That's why it is said this passa is co-arisen with eye consciousness. That's why Sahajata Passaya.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So Bante also just now mentioned there's the three condition, like the sensory organ must be functioning.
Oh, that no,
then-
that's a added teaching I shared with you. That is not in
Oh.
this sutta. It was given in other sutta, but it is completely agreeable here. Madhupindika Sutta. In the Madhupindika Sutta, I think Venerable Mahakachayana, another advisor of Buddha, teaches the importance of every sense faculty to capture a full experience thereof. Eyes, be that eyes, ears, whatever. So there are three things. One is the sense faculty should be unbroken to have the full experience. And then the second is that the particular objects should directly come to the particular sense faculty, and then attention must be given to that particular object. If these are met, then only that process is going to be successful. What you call Chakkuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku viññānam tīna sankti passo pasapacca vedana. That process is only successful, only these three conditions are met. Otherwise, you will have a provisional sensory experience.
Oh.
Now, how would I say provisional sensory experience? Someone says something to you, you did not hear that. What is that? You heard a little bit. Why? Perhaps the sound didn't come to you. Perhaps you did not give attention to that person. But when you know that you have to fix the experience, that person is going to nag you. You don't listen to me. I talked to you a couple of times, but you did not listen to me. Right?
Yeah.
That's why it's because of the what do you call? The lack of prerequisites for that experience.
So maybe we are paying attention to some other
things.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
sensory experience is not a full experience. It's a very provisional, partial experience.
Okay. Thank you, Bante.
Right? Any more questions for today about Kāma? That means you are very ready for Kāma, right? I don't think Kāma will take you over. You will take them over, right? All right. If there are no questions at this point, then I think we will wrap this up. So I want to recap once again, because you might think the place of Kāma in this sutta. We don't find a sutta where Buddha talks about Kāma in this clarity, in this analytical, synthetical level. You see Alagadupama Sutta, Chula-Dukkhakkanda Sutta, Mahadukkhakkanda Sutta. What you see is that Kāma is what you call fleshless born. Kāma is a dream. They are just different aspects of Kāma. This is the only place where Buddha talks about Kāma in this clarity. So the more we understand Kāma within these 6 contexts, the better we can manage our Kāma experiences through the sensory, experience. So then, thinking that we are going to have our next discussion, not next Friday, right, Aliana? So that means we are having a break, and we are going to meet again on 27 Friday. So let us now transfer all these good karmas which we've been making by learning Kāma in the 6 contexts which the Buddha said towards departed ones. May all departed loved ones who passed away in the name of us receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idang mi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idang mi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idang mi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Deva Naga Mahindika receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, happiness. In particular, you are celebrating Chinese New Year in the next couple of days. May Deva Naga Mahindika protect you, bless you for a very safe, happy time with your loved ones. May Devanaga Mahindika finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, Sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambadang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbasang pattisiddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambadang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbasang pattisiddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambadang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabbasang pattisiddhya. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu sasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu mang parang chirang rakhantu tvam sadati. Next is Dhammavish. Our Dhammavish is to be surrounded with more Kalyana Mittas, those who have more Saddha, Sila, Chagapana. At the same time, let us become Kalyana Mittas to as many sentient beings as we meet in this samsaric life till we attain Nibbana. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas that we've been making today by learning Kāma, sensual pleasures, in a very broad aspect. This is the broadest aspect that we can learn Kāma, the early suttas. May all these teachings we learn today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa nichang vaddha prachaino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanu sukhang balang ayurarugya sampatti sangha sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samichatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With that blessing, wishing you a happy Chinese New Year. And also would like to say that Aliana already posted some of the videos that I think even the latest video. And also she's also mentioning always about the retreat that we are doing on April 25th and the Ti-Ratana Vihara. So I hope that if you have time, you will join in the retreat. So with that, wishing everyone happy, pleasant good night till we see again the Chinese New Year. Enjoy your time.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bante.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Bante.
Thank you.
Bante.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bante.